last thing that I posted was about a micro reel. Well, we've kind of finished up with that. Finally got the whole bundle. This is my sock, and I got the rod. You know, it's taken a really long time to get this. There you go. Let's get a little closer. There you go. The thing about it is that it's really small in this area right here. This is really a about a meter long rod. I said it was going to be 6 foot, but apparently I clicked the wrong thing and it didn't come out that way. Put this away. Can't lose that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bait up here and do a little casting just to see what's going to go on with the micro rod and reel. Okay? So in setting up the micro rod and reel, we went with a simple weighted cork like this, small split shot. See if you can see that. There it is. And basically a cricket hook, kind of like that. So what we're going to do is, I'm a big fan of live bait. So let me get that out. And here's another use for an Altoids tin. I don't need a whole box of worms. I only need a small box of worms. So I'm going to tilt this down just a touch. See if you can see what we've got going on here. Some nice red worms. Bought these a while back. I've been keeping them alive for a couple of months. And figure there's 10 worms here in this box with some fresh dirt. And that's what we're going to use for our bait here. Worm box. I have not cast this knot the first time, so I have no idea what's going to happen here, whether this is going to work or not work. Water here, this is pretty progressive the way I see it, as far as water flowing by. Way too much for the kind of fishing that I'm going to be doing. There's a little pool right in here where something small might be hiding, so let's see what's going on with that. Okay. So we'll lower it down a little bit. Let's take that split shot off. See what happens here. Oh yeah, there you go. See, it's about a meter, about 39 inches here for the rod. I sincerely thought I had ordered the 6 foot one, but I did not. But I like this because it's much more compact, really slim place here. Slim handle, that's where I was getting a bite there, it looked like. But what I think I'll do is put a little bit of wrap around this. This metal that's exposed here is a little bit uncomfortable. So we'll probably fix that a little bit. Let's see if you can see that. I've been reading about how to do this differently, and as a young boy I was taught to thread the worm on, I guess because they stay on longer, but it also kills the worm. So some experts I know suggested that we just pierce through a few places. I think this is wasteful of the worm myself. I don't think it stays on, which is evidenced by the first one I put on, that as soon as it hit something it really just tore right off. So I'm a bigger fan of threading the worm on for longevity, but since I have plenty of worms, I think I'm gonna do it this way and cast with just a tiny bit of weight. That went about 20 feet. Okay, I'm not disappointed with this. It's supposed to be a tiny reel in a micro situation, and it is. It casts just fine. There's a little bit of noise, I think, on the ball bearing. But this whole outfit's about combined everything is probably about $16 to $17, I think, for the reel and for the rod. and I'm very happy with it. After a bit of a tangle with this line, I realized that I'm using braided line. It's not the first time I've used it, but I haven't used it very much. And I am not impressed with the way it's in love with itself. It loves to tangle up on itself. Very difficult to get knots out of once you get them. So I'm not overly tickled about this braided line. It casts well, but it's really difficult to tie and difficult to see. So we'll give it a few more shots. When fishing with the micro reel, hooked up on something. Yeah, it got hung. May have had a bite while I was over here setting up the camera. Something's pulled it down and hooked it. But you can see the bend of the rod. Maybe that's the best test and all for you. That's a pretty good pull. I think you'd be looking at a couple of pounds of fish right there. And I'm not going to get this back most likely. I don't know. Well, bent the hook, a little bit of worm left. Let's try it again. Might have been something in there. Let's put the bend back in the hook. We're supposed to. Very good. Yep. Nice 20-25 footer right there with just an ounce, an eighth of an ounce maybe. I think we'll just let that rest on somebody else's crop. So I think for the idea of subsistence fishing, like if I just want to catch a few brim or some smaller fish, even a couple of pounds seem to be okay with me. Small tackle, I'm definitely going to change out the line. I'm not happy with the braid. I'll go back to some high quality monofilament. But I believe this will pack well. You can see that it came right out of my camera bag. It's only about so big. The weight is minuscule. So I think it's a win-win for that. For the price that's involved. All right. So an overall idea is this. I'll show you the micro size of this with the reel and the rod. Really tiny, easy to pack. The first, everything comes down to this size when you collapse it. But what I ran into was that this braided line that I'm using is easily tangled, and you see what it did, around my cork. Might have been operator error. So just with the regular hook here, didn't have much success with any of this today. I really think the line is my biggest problem. Everything else is fine. The rod is fine. I don't have any gripes with the rod. See, it has a really nice pull to it. It comes out really well. So I have no problem with that. So this will stay as part of my kit for sure. We'll collapse it down just like so. But the line will definitely get changed out to monofilament.